This is Dr. Jenny from Thrive Chiropractic, and I'm going to step you through the exercises that we've put together to help you take care of your spine and hopefully keep your spine in good shape for years to come. So you can follow along with me, or you can use your little handouts that we've given you in the packet. So the first one is a cervical range of motion. So all you're going to do is there's 3 exercises. One is dropping your ear, each shoulder, as you keep your shoulders down. And you're going to go 10 times to each side. That was 10. Next, we're going to just alternate looking over our shoulders. And that makes 10. Then the next one is just dropping chin to chest and then up to the ceiling. So we're flexing and extending the neck here. This should feel good, especially if you sit at a desk all day. And that's 10. Our next exercise is a shoulder extension. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to come up and make a W. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that. And you're rolling your shoulders back and really think of pressing your shoulder blades together. And that was number 10. Our next exercise is toe touches. I'll step back so you can see me, and I'll go from the side. So you're going to come extend up, touch the floor, roll up, do it again. Touch the floor, roll up, extend. This is very similar to a forward bend if you do any yoga. Works on the low back, the hamstrings. And the last one, round it up. Moving on to our next exercise, which is a side bend. So you're just going to stand and alternate side to side. Think of a nice arch. You don't want to flop down. You want to extend, and you'll feel a stretch right here through the side of your waist. You can move through these fairly quickly. You've got 2 more to each side. And last time. Very good. For our next exercise, we're going to do a squat. So most of you at least are partly familiar with the squat. We find a lot of people doing these wrong, so I'm going to face the side so that you can see me. You want to sit back like you're sitting in a chair, and the goal is to get down to about 90-degree angle. And you can even go a little bit lower if you want, but we're going to do 10 total. Really sit back into your heels. Make sure your knees aren't sticking out in front of your toes. Give me 2 more good ones. And done. There was 10 good squats. So the next stretch is a kneeling hip flexor stretch. I'm going to grab a pillow, and you can do the same thing, or if you're on a mat or carpet, you might not need that, but I'm on a hard surface floor here. So I'm going to put this pillow behind my back knee. We're going to do this on both legs, so just start with whichever leg you choose, and you're going to go back and forth. I'll scoot back so you can see me a little better. You're going to go back and forth between a lunge where you're pressing your hips forward, keeping a 90-degree bend in your leg. You don't want to overload your knee past your toe. But so you pull into the stretch. This is the stretch portion, and then you release. So we're going to move through this 10 times, back and forth. And then we're going to switch. It's really important to keep your hip flexors supple because they attach on your spine and they can cause all kinds of back problems. And most of us sit too much, so we're really needing to focus on opening this area of our body up. You might be able to get a little deeper every time you go into the stretch. And that was 10, and that finishes up our hip flexor stretch, or our kneeling hip flexor stretch. Next stretch we have is the piriformis stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and just tip this camera down a little more. A lot of the stuff we're going to be doing is on the floor, so you'll be able to see me a little better. I'm going to move my props out of the way for right now. But a piriformis stretch, that's these hip rotator muscles, and they get tight, and they're responsible for a lot of the things that when you think of sciatica. So if you've had that or you're trying not to get that, this is a stretch you need to become very familiar with. So this is going to be a holding stretch. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the right leg. We're going to take our right arm, place it under the knee, and traction that knee towards your chest. And as you do that, you're going to grab the left ankle and pull the ankle towards the left shoulder. And you should feel a really just wonderful stretch right through there. And the right length of time on these is about 30 seconds. You can stay there longer, certainly, but that's about the amount of time that you need to really get into that stretch. And you extend the stretch by pulling closer to your chest and pulling the leg up closer toward the shoulder. So this is a little less intense, and this is a little more intense of a stretch. Play around with it, find out where you need to be, and then advance it as you get more flexible. You can advance it. So we're just going to do the same thing with the other side. We're taking it across. Now you'll probably find on most of these stretches you're tighter on one side than the other. That's completely normal. Most people, their stronger side is their less flexible side. Not always true, but very often that is the case. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed the piriformis stretch. Now we're going to move on and use some of the props we have. I'll introduce those. We've got this is called a foam roller. And the first thing we're going to do on this is we're going to do a whole series of exercises for our shoulders. And I'll kind of lay in our upper neck, upper back. I'm going to lay down sideways so you can see me. The first thing we're going to do is some T's with our arms. We're going to start up here at chest level, and then our thumbs are pointing up towards our head. So we just open, and this is all designed to counteract all the head forward postures we have, sitting in front of the computer too long, using our iPhones. We're always looking down and rounding our shoulders forward, so we need to reverse that. This should feel really good as you open up through the chest and the shoulders. And the next one we have, we're going to start in our lap, palms down, and then we come up like a Y. And as you do that, make sure you're rolling your shoulders down and back. And you can see how I'm rotating. My thumbs come in and then they open up. I think I lost count here. I think there's 2 more left, so we'll just do 2 more. There you go. There's 10. Now the next one, you're going to just lay with your shoulders. This is a shoulder retraction exercise. So you're just going to let your shoulders hang open, pull them down towards the floor. So you're really just expanding through that chest and just hang out there. This is, again, one that we hold for somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 seconds. You'll feel your chest and your shoulders start to relax and roll back on their own as the tight muscles release and let go. So again, you can stay here. There's no magic in 30 seconds. You certainly don't have to stop there. But for the sake of the video and for the sake of, you know, what is efficient to get the job done, 30 seconds is kind of a minimum. So shoot for that and stay there a little bit longer if you like. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to roll off of the foam roller. We're going to do some lumbar side-to-side knee drops. So this is for some rotation in the low back. Again, this will feel real great if you have tight low back. So you want to bring your knees up about 90 degrees, and then you're just going to drop to one side, come up, drop to the other, roll through. We're going to go 10 times each way. You'll probably feel this in your hips, the sides of your hips, your low back. And that finishes that up. The last thing on our list is going to be using what's called a Denny roll, and it's just a little device that helps restore that curve in your neck. As we sit forward and hunch forward, we sort of lose the natural curve in our neck, and it's very important so that you don't develop unnecessary arthritis and things like that. So what we want to do is we're going to start here. You put the sloping side. You can see this side is more drastically sloped. That's the side that goes towards your shoulders. You're putting that right under your neck. It's probably going to feel very uncomfortable when you start doing this. You're going to start by leaving this roll here for 2 minutes, and then you're going to add 1 minute a day to your exercise until you hit the 10-minute mark, and that's where you're going to stop. So you're working up to 10 minutes a day on this roll. If this is really uncomfortable for you, when you purchase this roll, you'll see that it's scored with some, I don't know if you can see the lines right here, but there's just some little lines right here. We just took a knife with ours and we cut through and cut that block like that. So you can open that up, and then as you lay on it, it'll flatten out, and then you have the extra there if you work up to it and you want to use it again. So you haven't completely destroyed the roll. You've just made it a little bit different height for now, and you can always go back to the original height if you want. So we found this to be a little more comfortable when you're just starting out, so you might want to score it and do what we did there. And again, you're starting with 2 minutes, and you'll progress to 10. Thanks for watching. Email us, call us, send us a message if you have any questions, and we'll be glad to answer.